Hey guys, it's Alpha, and in today's video we're going to be recapping everything we've learned so far in the series. So to get started, we're going to open up MCreator. And we're going to open up our mod workspace. And here we can see everything that we've created thus far in the MCreator modding series. So we've got lots of things that are based around tin. So we're going to be going over all of this sort of stuff again, but to avoid repeating ourselves with the tin stuff, we're going to make bronze instead. Now, bronze is an alloy between tin and copper. Now, since we've already got tin and copper in the game, we can mix those two together to make bronze, but tin obviously has an ore, whereas bronze won't have an ore because it's an alloy created from tin and copper. So everything except the tin ore we're going to be recreating as a bronze variant instead. So to avoid having a big mess, obviously we've already got loads of items here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder by pressing this create folder button up here, and then we're going to call this one tin, and then we're going to move all of these items into the tin folder. Drag all of those and drag all of those into tin. There we go. And then we create a new folder called bronze, but we'll actually create that in the tin folder for now. And then we'll move it out of this folder later. Like so. So we've got bronze. And then what we can do is we can actually just duplicate each item as we see fit and just change the values that we need to do to create bronze items instead. So we'll go in order of what we've learned. So we started off with items. So raw tin, tin ingot, and tin nugget. So then we'll create the item variants of those for bronze. So we'll duplicate. And then instead of raw tin, it's going to be raw bronze. Like so. And then in here we can go in and change the texture to the custom bronze texture that I've created. There we go. So we've got raw bronze.png. So we'll bring that in. And as you can see here, it's clumps of raw copper and raw tin mixed together. If you want the items, textures, and sprites that I've created for this modding series, you can get full file access by joining the File Access Club, which will give you full unlimited access to download all the files that I have created for this series, including the textures used in today's video. Alternatively, you can join the Exclusive Access Club, where you get the full file access. You also get early video access, and also access to exclusive videos which are only viewable if you are a member of that tier. You also get priority replies to comments and also shout outs in the videos. But anyway, moving on, we're going to go to item states, which we don't need to change anything about, animations, and properties. Here we go. So we're going to change this name to raw bronze, and it's going to be the same thing. So it's common rarity in the ingredients tab, max stack size 64. Nothing changed out but all of this stuff. And then we're going to go to food properties. It's not a food, so we're not going to change that. Advanced properties, we don't need to change any of that either. And triggers is the same deal. So that item is done. And we can do the same thing with the tin ingot. We can duplicate that and do a bronze ingot instead. And then we're going to change the texture for this to be a bronze ingot. And the only thing we really need to change is the display name to bronze ingot, like so. And then the last but not least for the items is the tin nugget, which will now be a bronze nugget. And then change the display name to bronze nugget, like so. So there we go, we've done that for the items. Next will be the blocks, and then we've got the crafting and smelting recipes, but I won't do that until the end because we've got lots of other things like the tools and armor to do, so I'll just do the smelting recipes and the crafting recipes once we've added all the items. Ore generation we don't need to do because obviously bronze won't have an ore variant since it's an alloy, but the tools and armor will, so we will do those, and then I'll come back to you and we can do the crafting recipes. So here I'm making the bronze tools, and obviously we've got to up the stats of the bronze tools so that they're better than the tin tools, otherwise they're not really worth crafting. So for the efficiency, we'll up it to 5.5, the enchantability, we'll up to 18, the attack damage to 4, and the attack speed will leave at 1 because that is never changed for any item tier. It's only changed for the item type. And the durability will also up to 210. And of course we need to change the repair item to be bronze rather than tin. And now we're doing the bronze armor, which will be same deal. So changing all of the textures into the bronze variants. There we go. And then we can change the armor texture as well by adding in the bronze layer 1 and bronze layer 2 for the armor. And then here we're changing all of these stats for the armor to be slightly better than tin. And then also changing the repair item to bronze. And now that we've made all of the bronze tools and armor, we can make all of the crafting and smelting recipes. Here we go. So we've created all of the bronze recipes, other than one, which is a new recipe we'll need to create that isn't on the tin recipes. So if we create a new recipe, and this is going to be raw bronze from raw metals, and then this is going to be made from raw tin and raw copper. There we go. So 1 raw tin and 1 raw copper will give us 2 raw bronze. Since we're putting 2 ores in, get 2 ores out, like so. And that is shapeless. And the item that will unlock the recipe is raw tin and also raw copper. Like so. So if you have either of these, then it will give you this recipe unlocked. And that is how you get raw bronze. So you'll mix them together, and then you'll get the raw bronze, which you can then turn into the ingot and create all of the bronze items. So now we can launch the game and test that it all works. It's obviously just repeating everything we've done before, but we're just going over it again just to solidify it and consolidate our knowledge so far. There we go. So we can create a new world, put it into creative mode. And now we can test that we've got the new items where they should be. So in tools and utilities, we should have, obviously we've got our tin stuff, but we've now also got our bronze stuff. And then in combat, we've got our tin stuff and our bronze stuff. In ingredients, once again, we've got tin and bronze. In building blocks, we've got tin and bronze, once again, and then natural blocks, we shouldn't have anything. So yeah, we've got tin ore, but we don't have our bronze. So that's perfect, unchanged. So if we go to ingredients and then grab raw tin and raw copper, just here, and then we put that into our crafting grid, which we don't have. So I'll just grab a crafting table. Like so. So I've got 1 raw copper, 1 raw tin, and we get 2 raw bronze. And this is shapeless, so I could just put them anywhere in the crafting grid, and we'll get our raw bronze out. So if I make a bunch of this, like so, I can turn that into a block of raw bronze, like so, which looks great. It doesn't look very nice, but, you know, if you wanted to use it for something, it's not very decorative, in my opinion, but there you go. And then obviously we can smelt this, if I can spell furnace. There we go. So furnace, blast furnace, and coal. Beautiful. So if we put it in the regular furnace, it will take the regular 10 seconds to cook. Whereas if we put it in the blast furnace, it smelts a lot quicker than in the regular furnace. So as you can see, it's going to finish in the blast furnace before it even finishes in the regular furnace. And then we get bronze ingots out of that, which we can use to make other things, such as bronze nuggets. Then we can use those to turn back into bronze ingots, since there isn't a use for them at the moment. And then you can use these to make things like bronze armor. Or I can see an issue that I've had here. I've forgot to rename the bronze armor items to bronze helmet, bronze chestplate, and so on. I've kept them as tin, so I'm going to have to change that. But that's something for you to look out for and not make the same mistake. But as you can see, it's got the right texture. It looks like bronze, so that's great. So now that it's all created and done, we can grab all of these items and drag them into the bronze folder. And then we can drag the bronze folder out of the tin directory at the top into the mod directory. And then here we are, we've got tin and bronze, with both of them having all of their respective items within them. So yeah, we've consolidated everything that we've done thus far in the series by making bronze variants of everything. And if you want to create your own server where you can host your mod or other mods that you might just want to play with, you can click this link just here to go to my video showing how to make your own Minecraft server. And in the next episode, we're going to go over creating storage blocks as well as GUIs for said storage blocks. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.